You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter on iWalter on this Monday, Labor Day, September 7th, 2015. By the way, it's funny, my mom's birthday's in 2 days. It's on September 9th. And then, not that it's important to most people, it is to me, strangely enough. And then in a couple more days, what is that, 10th, 11th? 2 days later is the, what do you call it? It's the anniversary, not a really considered an anniversary, but it was 9/11, when we got attacked, which obviously got forgotten within the past 8 years almost, or 7 years with Obama. But yeah, back when Bush was in office, that was a big thing. People made sure he did something about it, which he did. He reacted. He listened to people, like Obama doesn't, and made sure to correct this issue. By the way, that first song I put on there, Pretty in Pink, was actually a cover song. I had to pull it up. It was from these people called this band. I think it was only basically one song that they ever really made. And they covered that song, Pretty in Pink, but it was from this band called The Grown-Ups. I don't think they really did anything else. And the reason I got that, I was trying to look for something because I got all these stupid articles on like remaking Halloween, once again making another sequel with different people, and it's like, I'm so sick of hearing about these sequels anymore. I'm actually getting tired of it. What happened to original ideas? Now, there was something I rented last night. I'll mention that in a minute. It was this movie called Unfriended. That film was actually an original idea, and it was executed really bad. I mean, it was horrible. Anyway, before I go too far, and I had some other things I want to mention, I'm going to maybe actually give some plugs tonight because I don't have that much information to talk about. And it would be, if my friend Matt, because he actually helped, he when he met up with, mainly it was more of a friend of his than mine, it was this guy Dave. He showed me the link to Dave's music, and I was listening to it, and I was like, you know what, this is really good. I thought he was actually in a band, and no, like most of us, if you really want to become successful, unfortunately, you got to do everything on your own. And only then do people want to help you once they don't have the burden of doing all the work, and they just kind of collect in on your success. And that gets really old because, trust me, I think Matt would agree with me. We've discussed this before, I believe, in the past. If somebody is just going to wait around and for me to do all the work while they sit on their ass, and then when I become successful, if that ever would happen, I'm your best friend, I want to help you out now. It's like, you know what? See that door, don't let it hit in your ass and go fuck yourself. That's what I'm going to actually end up saying. I'm sorry, I'm just so sick of people like that who really don't have no interest of helping you at all. And Matt, I think, would agree with me. Probably Dave would think the same way. But Dave is really good. Matt's very, obviously he's been working really hard at what he does. But I'm going to leave that to the side for a second. This was that cover song of Pretty in Pink was from this movie called Shrek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. I swear to God, it was, Shrek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. What a ridiculous name of the movie. It was in I think, 2000, I think, when this movie came out. So let me read it again. That is the weirdest name for a movie, but it was like incorporating every type of weird horror movie, whatever you want to call it. Shrek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. And it had so many celebrities in this movie, by the way, and it was so bad. It looked like it was like one of these shot-on-video films, shot on video, but then try to make it look like film. That's how bad it was. And unfortunately, they did have a lot of actors, and they only named about 3 of them on the box, like on the poster. I guess the original movie poster was only 3 people mentioned, and yet it had this large amount of celebrities of some sort, people that you would know, that basically didn't want their name even in the credits, I guess. Definitely not on the box because the movie was just so freaking bad. So the only thing that was remotely entertaining was this cover band called The Grown-Ups that actually covered the song Pretty in Pink. Otherwise, the movie was just a total waste of even buying it for like $5 because you can't rent it. I usually try to rent things. If I can't rent it, the next best step, if I can get it cheap enough, I'll buy it. 'Cause sometimes movies that I want to rent, they're cheaper to buy because the rental might be $5, and to buy it, it's like $3. It's like, well, it's just more garbage I'm going to be collecting. But If it's cheaper and if I get free shipping, which I sometimes do, a lot of times I do because I get a lot on Amazon, I'll do it. But that was just, it was painful to watch that film alone. I'm not sure which order I want to go in tonight. I don't know if I should save the best for last, but yeah, that was one bad film. The other one would be Unfriended. So I'm not sure. I did want to discuss that a little bit. The movie was like an interesting idea, but it would be something if you would have paid if you would have paid me to go see it. Because I wanted to see it when I heard about it in the movie theaters, and I ended up not doing it, though that was a good sign. And it was like, I saw it in Walmart last night. I was like, yeah, that's that movie I wanted to see. It just came out in April. It's already out to buy. I mean, you're like, well, that's a couple of months. Yeah, but that's like really quick turnaround. For a movie that was put out by Universal, of all places. And you think about it, yeah, it's September, yeah, but that's all of April, May, June, July, August, September. That's like... Yeah, am I correct? Is that 6 months? No, it's got to be less than that. April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, I guess it is 6 months. But still, I mean, that's just kind of crazy. Movie might have been out longer than 6 months. It might have even came out last month, which it's just bad. That's a bad sign. And they really promoted this movie. So I'm going to see if I can find the information on it. I can round it up in about 30 seconds if I really wanted to, but you know me, I can't do that because that wouldn't be me. The release date of the movie was April 17th, 2015. The initial DVD release date was August 11th. So that's April, May, June, July, August. It didn't even give it a worthwhile run, and they released it on Blu-ray for $20. I was like, yeah... That's the movie I wanted to go see the movie. I would have paid $15 to go see the movie theater and been heavily disappointed. It's actually, they're giving it more grace than I would because I'm looking at the ratings. IMDb gave it 5.8 out of 10. And Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty harsh on bad movies, gave it 60%. It's like, you're really being kind because I'd probably give it less than 2%. And I'm being nice. So you give them 60% is saying a lot. So I don't know. It's showing like it says unrated official trailer MTV. So I don't know if it was an MTV film, but it was put out by Universal Pictures. Now, the movie, I'll let you know, you're going to feel like you're robbed of an hour and 23 minutes of your life. Trust me, it really feels that way. It was just poorly executed, because I like using that word. I learned that off of Matt. And Matt, I like that for you. I love you for that. You give me words that I wouldn't come up on my own. Somewhere you used that. But yeah, the movie was just, it was like a little bit of video, film footage in the beginning of the film, maybe less than a few, like not even a few minutes. And it goes right to a computer monitor. That's like you would have been in the movie theater. That's all you would have seen was a computer monitor. No keyboard, nothing else. Just a computer monitor for an hour and 23 minutes. Well, I'll say an hour and 20 minutes out of the hour and 23 minutes. And I'd like to say I'm joking, but I'm really not that far on exaggerating. Trust me, it's about that bad. And it's like, okay, and it's showing somebody's desktop, and this person opened it up, their desktop, and it's an Apple, which I didn't mind that. But yeah, they were trying to cover up that they're using actually name brand products, but not showing the Apple logo, not showing the Google. Well, actually, no, they did use Chrome. It actually did show Chrome, which is owned by Google. So they were trying not to advertise, but they were advertising anyway. And it's like, well, you know what? Good luck on paying all these royalty rights, because now these companies don't want you to, well, they're going to want you to pay for all this stuff. I'm going to run into this problem myself. But this was just ridiculous. I mean, it was like, okay, they're making, like, I make a feverish attempt. They make my feverish attempt of trying to hide the fact that I'm using licensed material here and there, if it may be screenshots, pictures, or whatever. They did a hideous job. I mean, who put this together and actually released it, I'm sure Universal had to pay an arm and a leg just to pay off all the royalty rights to Google, to Apple, and there was actually it was Skype too. So yeah, the whole movie was basically a Skype movie on a monitor. And it had an Apple desktop, which they could not hide it they didn't even try to hide it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they were hoping, well, maybe deep down inside we'll get paid for actually unintentionally advertising for all these different companies. So like, well, you know what? You better pray to God because, sorry about that. Yeah, but you better pray to God because this movie is so bad that you're going to not only be losing a lot of money on whatever you put into this film, but you're going to be losing more if these places like Apple, Google, Skype decide to go after you and say, listen, we didn't appreciate the way you presented our what do you call it? Our programs or, basically social media devices for your movie because it made us look bad. They might just say that, and they're going to be paying an arm and a leg. They're going to be so buried in debt, it's not going to be funny. They're going to come out the other side of the globe. That's how bad this movie was and how much they did not cover their tracks that well. Anyway, I'm looking at this article, and the thing that comes up is Billy 227. Well, Billy 227 is this girl. That's her handle name. She's a ghost. No puns intended, but she's the ghost in the machine. Because there's a movie called Ghost in the Machine. Not to be mistaken, because that's the first thing that came in my head. So, the whole movie are these four friends. I think at one point it's five. And they're basically in little boxes on Skype. Don't try to hide the fact. On Skype, communicating with each other and just talking how much, basically talking nonsense and stupid stuff about their relationships, lives, and who said who about what. But it's on, like, if you're watching in the movie theater on a monitor, it doesn't go past the monitor at all for at least an hour and 20 minutes. I'll be generous, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because there was a couple outdoor shots or whatever, or indoor shots, whatever, but we're beyond the monitor screen, but not that much. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say an hour and 15 minutes. But an hour and 15 minutes to look at a monitor with the Skype logos and the Google logo and what else? I think Facebook. They actually had the F logo, because I looked into this. I wanted to advertise my show. And, my friend told me this, my friend Matt, you can't even use the F logo, because either he told me this or I looked it up. They said you can use it in some ways, but you have to have it in accordance to some other social media link. Then it's okay. You can't put it as being advertised as your for your own personal use. You have to advertise that if you're using Facebook, that you're actually trying to promote it, that people will use Facebook for other reasons than just to go to your link. It's something on that line, because I looked it up, because I don't want to get in trouble. I've gotten in trouble in the past for copyright infringements, and that is very expensive. Anyway, they did a really bad job with that too. I mean, trust me, it's going to be. The movie was a mess. Maybe that's why I got pulled. Maybe we're trying to make money back now by releasing it so quickly on DVD and Blu-ray. I have no clue. The only thing I will be honorable about, or I'll be considerate about, the idea for the film was definitely original. I mean, how many people have ever thought of just, that point of view shot, basically using video cams to shoot movies to get that Blair Witch filled a feel to a film. Obviously we are in a a media age where everything is done, or we communicate more. We can't hold a conversation in reality, but we can hold it on a computer monitor. And the person who made this did a good job in that perspective. Like, they did actually, it is true that most people now, their whole life, their whole social life is not with real people. Well, they are real people, but it's people being that they communicate with online. Like they feel more comfortable. I've heard this before, I think from a friend. Like, I remember years ago when I had this problem. When you meet up with these people in real life, they don't know what to say. I had this before. I had some woman that I talked to online, and she looked completely different. She actually looked pretty hideous when I saw her in person, because the person she presented herself online was much better looking than the one she actually looked, or the actual person. That was problem number one. Problem number two, she could not say one single word without a keyboard in front of her. Like, she didn't know how to talk to me as a real person. She and me, I don't have that problem, obviously, because I can talk to myself until I'm blue in the face. And that's to myself. Can you imagine me with other people? I mean, people walk away from me because I just talk too much. So I don't have no problem talking to people. But people who I do spend a lot of time on my computer, but they don't know how to talk to real people. They only know how to talk to them through chat rooms, and if it's talking live, it's through a mic, which I'm doing, but not in the same way I do. They can't talk like real people. So anyway, getting back to this film called Unfriended, it actually said it was released in making of this film was 2014, but it was released just this year. But yeah, this movie, it was trying to incorporate cyberbullying. That was the theme also. Like, they basically bullied their one friend so severely, like they made her look like the friend who was the ghost in the machine, literally. They made her look like such an ass that she ended up committing suicide. She blew her brains out. They show her put a gun to her head, and supposedly she blows her brains out. So that was the beginning of the film. Yeah, that stuff does happen. I understand that. I understand that, yeah, people do spend a lot of time, and it's really hard, honestly, it's really hard to execute that on film, and obviously that is proven because this movie was just bad. Now, I might go back and maybe watch it again, but trust me, the whole time I was in so much pain. Those 5 films, in fact, that I had saw at that horror fest, that Spider Fest, were a picnic in a park for 9.5 hours compared to this hour and 23 minutes I had to suffer through this film. And I'm not even over exaggerating on that one. Trust me, that's about accurate. You're almost like at the point after even 15, 20 minutes, you're like saying, you know what? I just want to see people fucking get killed because this movie is just driving me nuts otherwise. And that's horrible to say, but when the people start getting possessed because they look up these things, it kind of got me curious if this could really happen. I know it can't. But it got my curiosity piqued, which is good, by saying, okay, can really somebody from the spirit world who hasn't passed over actually basically manipulate people on cyberspace and make them do things they don't want to do, such as killing themselves? But, I mean, yeah, it was quirky, but it did kind of get my attention there. But it got to the point because it was just so dragged out. I mean, there's not much you can do when you see a bunch of people that you have no clue who they are and you have no idea of what they're thinking until you see it on the film, that you can't wait to see them get killed, or kill themselves, I should say. So the good news is everybody kills himself at the very end of the movie. So I ruined it for you. Oh, well, you're not losing anything. Trust me. I just saved you an hour and a half of your life, so you should be happy about that. I'm sorry, an hour and 23 minutes. By the way, sidetrack real quick. Nothing new. I did make a mistake when I played that long segment of Rush Limbaugh yesterday. My friend Matt came over to the house. He did correct me, so thank you for that, actually. I thought it was 63% of the nation is unemployed. It's actually, like, technically, if you listen to the Kappa Rush, it's more like half. So I was a little over by about 13%. I think Matt told me something about 61, 62% that are really just have stopped looking for jobs. But either way, I was off. So, okay, let me go back to this movie, Unfriended, anyhow. Anyway. Yeah, the movie was just, you know what, it was the most painful thing I've ever seen. It was really, really hard to watch. just because they actually mentioned Blair Begins, so I'm wondering if they're talking about Blair Witch, or at least some kind of what do you call it, related. I'm not. Well, maybe I will. It says one night while teenagers Blair, Mitch, Jess, Adam, Ken, and Val take part in an online group chat session. So Blair, I'm wondering if they came up with the name. I know Blair is a common name, so to speak, for a woman or a girl, but they might have used Blair because of Blair Witch, is my guess. They had suddenly were joined by a user known as Billy227, who was Ghost in the Machine. It's their deceased friend who committed suicide. And this was supposed to be approximately 1 year after the fact that she had done so. She came back for vengeance. So, yeah, she was a ghost with an axe to grind, no puns intended. Thinking it was just a technical glitch, the friends carry on their conversation until Blair begins receiving messages from someone claiming to be Laura Barnes, who is his Billy227, a classmate who had killed herself exactly 1 year prior. As Blair tries to expose Billy's identity, her friends are forced to confront their darkest secrets and lies. They did some type of truth or dare thing, so to speak, also, where they had to basically tell the truth. And if they had 5 times they could tell something, one of their darkest secrets, and if they were the first one out of the game by telling, okay, I lied about this, situation, certain situations in real life, that if they got up to the 5th one, this ghost would kill them first. But the whole intention was the ghost was toying with him and had no intentions of allowing anybody to survive. And her intention was to basically kill everybody because she was, basically shamed in life. So she wanted to shame them first and then kill them. And basically, so to speak, send them to hell that way. So, probably me talk about it, which I never really do, might sound a little bit more interesting. Probably not at all, but trust me, the movie was really bad. Maybe it's so bad that I'll just have to watch it again just for the reason of saying, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. It's like probably seeing a train wreck or a car accident where you have to look at it no matter how bad it really turned out. Like you can't, it's that bad that you have to, you can't turn away from it. That's how this movie is. Even though the analogy is the worst I could probably possibly give, it's almost like that. Like, this movie is so bad, I probably would have to watch again just because I can't look away, because it's so like such a mess in some ways. Yeah, what was I going to say though? Yeah, I can't say much good about this film, honestly. And then they had this soundtrack at the end of the movie of like rap music and hip hop music. And it was never played in the movie. They do play one song at the very end for the soundtrack that was in the movie. I can't remember what it was, but they tried to make a soundtrack where it really had no music except one song that I could probably, remember. I don't know the name, but I remember there was one piece of music in there, but the rest there wasn't any. So they were so desperate to even make a soundtrack for this movie. They just made one up at the very end of the movie of like, oh yeah, here's all the music that was in the movie. It was like, where? Because if it was in there, I didn't hear it. Trust me. Maybe I was too busy getting annoyed by the film. You know what the most entertaining part of this film was? When you figure out what's going on, because they do these cut scenes and they don't do it in a good way. Like I mentioned about this guy who did a 4-minute short horror or something. I can't remember. It was like 3 or 4 minutes. He did cutscenes, and the cutscenes really meant a lot. In this film, they just made really no sense until the very end. But apparently this girl who committed suicide, which I can't remember her name already, I'm trying to look. See, that's how much Laura Barnes. Now, Laura Barnes, you know what? I don't know. Some of the names, I'm just wondering if they came like, I was a big fan of David Lynch. Well, that was Laura Palmer. This is Laura Barnes. It's like, and then Blair is one of the names. Because sometimes there's like hidden messages, Easter eggs, as you call it. Because they said that about the movies of those movies, or at least the first one. They used actual actors and directors in that movie, their names, the real life people in this movie of, oh God, and I own them all now too because I actually own most of them. Final Destination. It had to take me a minute. Final Destination. The names of the characters were actually real life people who were horror directors or writers or something in that horror thing. So I'm wondering if this person got that idea from that, because like Blair, and then like I said, Laura. You know, I could be like just jumping too far into it, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, anyway, the girl who they shamed into killing herself, the final straw which made this character that you really only see in video shots, because these kids that were friends of this girl, Laura, they were taking films of her making an ass out of herself, literally making an ass out of herself. Like, there was one time she got so stone drunk that she passed out, and they thought, oh, this would be funny. We're going to shoot it and put it on the internet. Does stuff like that really happen? Yeah, it actually does. But then they had this one where the last surviving soul, the main protagonist in the film, which I would have to say is this character named Blair. She's the one who actually was behind making an ass out of this girl named Laura. So the thing was, she videotapes, which she doesn't admit to the very end. She even sells out her boyfriend to this ghost and says, oh yeah, he was the one guilty for making you look like the ass that you would made you kill yourself. She basically lied to save her own ass, and she gets killed anyway. So I'm just telling you everything because, trust me, there is nothing you're not going to like retain your concentration on watching this film. You're going to be like, okay, 5 minutes into the film, I was already there. Okay, if I didn't rent this for $5, I would have turned it off. I felt like, okay, I'm already wasting my money, so I'm going to watch this no matter how bad it is. But I was ready to turn it off from my rent. You know, I rented it on Amazon after 5 minutes, so I'm not ruining anything for you. So the only thing that was really entertaining, and this is really bad because I've been there, done that, not been drunk, but this girl was so shit-faced, this girl named Laura, that her friend Blair videotapes her basically not only passed out on the ground, but she literally had left a nasty diarrhea shit down the side of her shorts. So, I mean, some people, like, the whole shit and fart thing is funny to some people. Sometimes, me sometimes, more, most likely all the time. But, yeah, that was the most entertaining thing, was this girl, who wasn't bad looking, this girl who was the deceased, named Laura. Her whole reason for basically wanting to commit suicide was the final straw was, which she didn't realize until she was dead, and started harassing the friends who had made her look like an ass, was the fact that her friend, this character named Blair, basically videotaped herself, stupidly enough, and then put it online, showing her friend who had committed suicide basically not only, again, shit-faced, but literally shit down the side of her legs, like coming down the side of her legs, passed out. So, would that really get me angry? Yes. Would it make me want to commit suicide? Most likely, no. For younger kids who their whole life is dependent upon how they look and, you know, their, basically that shallow-minded, the world revolves around me, everybody's focusing on me. Yeah, I could probably see that happen because that's happened before where these kids, especially young girls, if they're not accepted or looked at as being like, oh, well, hey, this girl's really hot. I'm just speculating now that, and I've seen stories like this that the girls most of the time, because it's usually guys who will do not only try to commit suicide and be successful, and the reason is it used to be, is because guys will go to do more gruesome types of way of committing suicide, like putting a gun to their head, or basically doing a really what do you call it, nasty way of trying to kill themselves. Now, girls generally in the past would just try to overdose, because I've had that when I grew up as in my 20s, where these girls that when they got depressed and suicidal, they basically they self-inflicted by slicing their wrist, but they were really superficial cuts. They were like not even barely breaking the skin. I'm not even kidding. Or they would overdose on like medication by a small amount. Nothing that would really kill them. It would just definitely make them groggy and tired. But nowadays, there is more success with the younger generation, and especially with the girls, committing suicide. Like, they are extremely successful. I've read a couple stories just recently. So that part of the film definitely hit, I don't want to say a sensitive spot, but a correct analogy on what was going on, because that stuff does happen. I'll say that much. And a girl who was forced to drink more than she could handle to the point that she basically shit herself, like with really mass amounts of diarrhea down the side of her legs. Would that be embarrassing to a young teenage girl? Probably it would be. So I'll give him credit for that. I know I'm being wishy-washy. Again, though, that film is called Unfriended. It did come out on DVD and Blu-ray, and you can rent it on streaming, which I did, or just rent it from the Redbox, I'm sure. But I just thought it was a real complete waste of time. Alrighty, this popped up now, so I'm gonna give, because I gotta return the favor. But my friend Matt, because he did plug me into my friend, more of Matt's friend, Dave, from when we were at Monaco College. So my plug for Matt is he's on, you can listen to some of his stuff if you want to listen to Matt. Some of the stuff he's done on soundcloud.com/musicteacherguy-com. So that's from Matt. I'm going to give Dave a little bit more time, because Dave is the one who really kind of got me like, hey, this is really good. So I got to find Dave now, because I forget what I did with his stuff. And there was this thing I was going to read on Halloween, but I don't even think I have the interest anymore. I might. Okay, Dave's now, this guy Dave, his thing is called his I want to say band, but it's actually only Dave, though. Well, I'll call it a band for just the sake of argument. It's called Distant Neighbor. So look on SoundCloud. It's Distant Neighbor, and it looks like Baron von Wasteland, Antarctica. And Dave's got his picture on there. Yeah, I listened to some of his stuff. It reminded me a little bit of like probably when I used to listen to The Glove. It reminded me a little bit. There was a particular song that some of his instrumental sounded like to me. It actually did sound like it sounded like something from the Smiths. Now, I can't remember exactly where it was, but something did sound like a little bit from the Smiths. And obviously, Dave, knowing him from back in the past, knowing what I hear from Matt, he was always a big Billy Corgan / Smashing Pumpkins fan. So do you hear that in there? Yes, you do. Is it good? Does he do a good job? Oh, absolutely. I mean, Dave has his own twist. I want to see he's on Facebook too. But he did an incredible job. And yeah, I mean, I can't say enough for Dave. He's really good. Not saying anything about Matt, But yeah, so I recommend you check out Dave's stuff, and it's on his band name, which is just him, is Distant Neighbor. And so, I mean, you got to give him credit. He's like the age of my friend Matt. Wow, he does look the same. I'm starting to look at pictures of Dave. Yeah, he does look exactly the same. And he's put a lot of money into this so far. I mentioned this before, so yeah, I want to help the man out. I want people to listen to Dave's stuff. And yeah, please give him a shot, because I'm going to like try to put his stuff on my Facebook page too. So yeah, check out Dave. And if I can actually, maybe I'll have a chance with him. I like to do one with Matt. Matt, I'd like to throw that out there to you. I could probably even do you guys individually, of course, on Skype, because if you call on Skype, I can actually do the interview where I don't have to hook up the other mic, which never seems to work anyhow. So, yeah, that might actually work better. I can hook up two mics. I've done it before. But, and I said I was going to do it to a friend who made this movie called Agony as well. But this would be a little easier because these guys live really close to my house. Or they can still do this Skype. Either way, it does not matter. So, yeah, please check out Dave's on SoundCloud. He is on Facebook, and just look for Distant Neighbor. And really good. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got most of his tracks down. He's still working on it. So, you know, at least give the guy a listen. And I would appreciate that. I'm trying to look for Matt's other things. I was going to try to do that too. And Matt, I am so sorry, because I think I lost your other link that you had on Skype. So I'm going to try to do a quick look, because I got so much other things going on now. So you know what? Let me see if I can pause this for a minute, and I will be. Give me one moment. I won't do. Okay, I'm back again. I'm just going to go once I find Matt's link to his Skype page. I think he would appreciate. Matt, I think you would appreciate this. So I'm. Give me a second. Okay, it's iWalter. I know I said I was going to say it, and guess what I do? I say it anyway. It's just, you know what? It's just, I got to get back in the groove of things. So I was off for more than just a few seconds. I did find Matt's link, and yeah, I really like the page. I think it's really sharp. He got some two different people making different links. You can find Matt by just putting in, if you go under Google searches, people who may listen to me, look under Music Teacher Guy, and you will find a lot of his things. But he just made a new Skype link, and it is really sharp and sexy looking. I don't know how else to put it. That's my words. So Matt might beg to differ. Here it is, SkypeBasedLessonOnline.com. SkypeBasedLessonOnline.com. He's just working on this one now. Very sharp, very professional, because he is professional. What am I saying? Very sexy looking. And the thing is, though, the whole thing is, hey, if you're like halfway across the globe, because I do have one or two listeners from other countries, folks, if you want some music lessons, you can contact Matt, and he could set up something where he could probably, I would assume, you know, obviously because he's on Skype, you know, you could do a lesson. Now, Matt's going to work on, he hasn't done it yet. He wants to basically set up little lessons, if I remember correctly. I apologize, Matt, if I'm saying this wrong. Where he'll just give you small lessons for, you know, a reasonable price. So you can just basically download and practice on your own, just giving you small, simple steps. But if you want like that one-on-one experience online where, you know, hey, you're halfway across the globe, Matt's not going to make it to you, here you go. You can get Matt online now, so on Skype. So again, SkypeBasedLessonOnline.com. It says, welcome to electric bass guitar lesson on Skype. It says online lessons allow you to learn and study the music you love right in the comfort of your own home. Online Skype-based lessons is one of the most affordable and comfortable ways to learn bass guitar. So this is something Matt can do for you. And again, it's on Skype, basslessononline.com. All lessons are given by knowledgeable, experienced professional teachers, regardless of your location in the world. Now, this is great as time. This is as great as time as any to learn bass on Skype. Apologize, Matt. We offer affordable, private, personal, one-on-one Skype online music lessons, regardless if you're traveling or on vacation. Online music lessons are still just close as your computer, which everybody, I know I do. I carry my computers, my laptops. I got laptops I carry on vacation. Yes, I have more than one. I got like 3. Our technique and schedule is flexible, makes learning bass online with Skype the best way to advance. Start learning to play today. So there you go. You can do this with Matt online. You don't even have to have him come to your house if you don't want to. I don't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem of Matt coming to my house if he was going to teach me something. But the bottom line is, if it's just an inconvenience, or if you live in England or Pakistan, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'll have to see where I got some of my people from, and I'll mention that in a minute. You got Matt. You can get him to come right to your house. So let me see, because I'll give you like a list of people who listen to me from other countries. It's actually shrunk down. I keep on losing and then gaining new audience members from different countries. So I'm going to look at my... well, actually, it's 100% in the United States right now, so give that one I can't go by. But I've had people from Italy and other countries in the past that, yeah, they do actually listen to me. I lost all those for some reason now. But just, I was going to give you like an example of some of the countries that people listen to me elsewhere. I guess maybe, I don't know, people go through their phases of like if they want to hear me or not. Well, obviously right now they don't. But the bottom line is, yeah, you can get that. I mentioned the name and I just shut it down, so I apologize. I can't read it again. But yes, check out both Matt's music teacher guy. Just go under Google, because that's the best place to put it. Or as my dad would say, he calls it Googles, and it's musicteacherguy.com. You can find all his different links for whatever you want. You want him to come to the house, or just basically, meet him online and do some lessons. It's 610-804-6968. That is 610-804-6968. So there you go. You got Music Teacher Guy. Would recommend that you guys check it out. And also my friend Dave with Distant Neighbor and Baron von Wasteland, Antarctica. That's on, he's both on Facebook and on SoundCloud. So, yeah, you know what? Again, I'm not sure if I really want to read what else I had lined up, because it was Halloween Returns, director talks Return of Michael Myers, and there's an audio, you can get that on iHorror. That was another one that was put up, and yeah, I'm just so I think Halloween, I lost interest in the movies after Carpenter and Deborah Hill had left. After that, the movies just got really bad. I tried to watch them because they brought Michael Myers back, and was like, it really was just, it was horrendous. I can't even deal with them. So that one is going to go kaput. I'm not going to even read that one. There was another one on iHeart. It says poster images and posters imagine children's toys as scary horror movies. As a wave of nostalgia currently sweeps the nation, capitalize on the fact that us miserable adults desperately want to be kids again, Hollywood is cashing in the feature film like Battleship and Ouija, turning childhood toys into money-making cinema. Where does it end, you ask? So, that one's probably not even worth reading either. So they're basically saying, I guess, in this article that we live in a society that is basically geared on perpetual adolescence, and that's about it. With Hollywood continuing to mine our childhoods for all they're worth, it seems that there is no end to the nostalgia. Pardon the insight, and the website Terra Trove recently commissioned a handful of artists to imagine a world wherein that parade passes straight through the horror genre. I hate reading this crap. The site tasked a handful of artists with designing movie posters based on popular children's toys and games, with the specific goal of turning each of them into terrifying horror movies. And no childhood relic was safe, from the fluffy My Pet Monster to the Hungry Hungry Hippos. What would the cherished toys of our childhoods as scary horror look like with scary horror movies? Check out the art below. So it shows you artists where they change childhood toys into horror movies, and one's called Hungry, and it's basically supposed to be Hungry Hungry Hippo, and it says Fall 2016. And there's one called Bright. I guess those Bright Lights, Fall 2015. I hope this is a joke. See the Shining Light. And there's one called Candyland. This is on www.terratrove.com. Revenge never tasted so sweet. Oh, I got this one finally. Sorry, the board game called Sorry. They gave from the producers of Hungry. There's a movie called Sorry. There's no place like home if you can get there. Coon Coon. Oh, I think I know. Yeah, it was that bugs about. It was those things that there was that toy game you play when you're 5 years old, and you basically there's those. They look like cooties. They were like these plastic toys. They look like cooties, and it was a game, and you had to basically. I forget if you put stuff on them or take it off. I can't remember. Anyway, and it says winner of obscure international film work. The Infestation is coming soon, 2015. And there's one called Glow. I think these are fake, because this one says 2014. Sleep tight, stay away from the lights, Glow. And there's one called Monster. Sometimes he's nice, sometimes he's not. And Rupix. Or is it Rupix or Ruxpin? Roxpin? Ruxpin? Keanu Reeves. They put Keanu Reeves' name there. But the producers of Insidious, some stories have no endings. Keanu Reeves in this movie. And there's one called Skip It. 666. How long can you skip it? 2016. The game of... Now, this is supposed to be... I think these are just people making childhood toys and stuff into horror movies. I believe that's what I said. The Game of Life. Will they be rich? Will they be poor? In the end, will it even matter? And that was the last one. But yeah. I'm kind of curious about this web link. Called terratrove.com. I wonder if there's a link that I don't have to type it in. Yep. Terratrove.com. I don't know if they have anything. Can you imagine? Yeah, I've already read that, so I'm not going to read it again. I don't know. Acted on people's childhood behavior or childish behaviors. Pretty funny. Could work for me, I guess, right? I don't know. Maybe it won't. Hey, there's something I saw. I'm going to give a plug for something I have no fucking clue about. It's called Exploride. Turn your car into a smart car. And it's pretty cool because it's like holographic. I don't know if that's for real. But it was this thing, like, it's a GPS, like, literally it's transparent. And it's coming out, it's like $300, so. And it's nice because it doesn't obstruct your view. Did I say, it says actually 269, only pre-orders. You know what I think this is? This Exploride.com is a web link to things that people actually invent. So people who have designed or invented something, they actually can sell them on this web link. And somebody invented this holographic GPS for your car. And it does look really cool. $300, I guess, is probably not too bad. But it even got a video underneath. I thought it might give a little bit of a description. And the item's called the Indiegogo. The Indiegogo. So it basically is a holographic, put on your dashboard of your car, and it's a GPS and more. So I give credit to that. Oh, here was something I actually did intend to read, and I totally forgot about. And this makes me feel better. It was on AmericanOverlook.com because I used to wear contacts. Excuse my stomach's growling. And I got corrective surgery, and I told people at work, they're running some really good deals because I got it done at LASIK Plus, which is one I recommend because I never had any problems from it. One-time deal, never came back from this LASIK Plus. So anyway, it was this thing where this guy actually fell asleep, and it's not the first time. He fell asleep even with his perma lenses, the contact lenses you can wear and sleep in, and he left the contacts in for too long, and now he went blind in one of his eyes. So that's really serious. It says he does something that millions do every day, and now he's blind in one eye, which I just said. Here's the warning ASAP. Accidentally falling asleep in your contacts and doesn't make you unique, considering more than half of all contact users do so at some point in their lives. I've done it a million times, and it did cause damage to my eyes. So when I got to corrective surgery, they actually had to reshape my eye, and they said that was therapeutic because I did have basically surface ulcers on my eyes, on the eyes themselves, and that got corrected through the laser surgery. Recently, a Cincinnati man learned the real negative repercussions of something that usually is considered a bad habit and it isn't pretty. This guy, Chad, is now blind in one eye after purchasing and wearing extended wear contacts overnight, despite the fact that they had warnings everywhere on the boxes. So, yeah, I'm going to make myself sick probably reading this. But yeah, and it shows a picture of the guy's eye. It's all fucked up. So this guy went blind in one eye from these perma lenses even, which you are supposed to be able to fall asleep in. Well, actually, maybe what it means is perma lenses. I think you chuck them after a week, but you're not supposed to literally sleep in them. So I did that more than once that I fell asleep, and they do dry out, and they are very uncomfortable, and they do obviously cause really bad damage to the top of your eyes, period, because the guy's blind in one eye now. So anyway, yeah, that's just a word of warning to end my show, because I had other things I could read. One was on moviepilot.com. It said Jurassic World just crossed $1 billion. So that's, by the way, mentioning that's why they want Spielberg, or I guess Spielberg wants to go back to who made Jurassic World, which was Universal, because obviously if you have a good idea for a movie, or even if it's a sequel or a remake, Universal is on top now just because of Jurassic World. And there's some other things. You can check it out on my Facebook page. Some cool stuff One which I'm not going to read again from moviepilot.com. Major Justice League movie details leaked. Hell yes, is what it says underneath. I'm just so over, what do you call it? It's just been so much with these superhero movies. I'm so burned out at this point. I think it's going to, it's great for Stan Lee, but I hate to say it, it's gotten, it's enough already. I'm getting tired of it. I really am. I want to see something else. I mean, even horror movies, yeah, they do kind of, what do you call it with the horror movies? They keep on remaking those. But once in a while, there is an original idea, and good or bad, at least it's fucking different. It's not the same thing over and over again. And that's all these superhero movies are anymore. It's like, okay, how many times can we remake these superhero films or add more superheroes from comic books? So no wonder why we live in a society of all overgrown children. So that being said, I'm going to try to end before Monday night because that way my shows are, basically I'm doing them in the correct order. Obviously, tomorrow night it won't be done until Tuesday. If I do decide to do a show, I am not sure yet. So everyone, have a good what's left of Labor Day, and I am signing off.